This is Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Telecom Reseller, and we are in the final hours of the International of IAUG Group's Global Conference 2011, and we have with us now Snehal Patel, who is the Chief Executive Officer of InteractCRM. And Snehal, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
What are your perceptions of this event?
Well, I think it's a pretty, interesting event. You meet. It's one place where you meet our business partners who are trying to sell things and sell innovation, and then you have the customer's perspective at the same time, who actually tell you what works and what doesn't work. So it's a good combination of both sides, where you get to see the best of innovation, and you get to see the demos as well, because this time I think they have a pretty large expo area. And we're presenting in our booth as well, and we've heard some very interesting things that are being done in the industry. We've seen the advent of new technologies and new perceptions coming up, and context is one of them. And so what we call the context of context, right?
Context of context.
Right.
We'll get there in just a second, but before we do, what have you been presenting to the Avaya users here at the event?
Okay. What we've been presenting to the Avaya users is a bunch of innovation around, essentially customer service. How do you enhance your customer service? That's the crux of the issue here, right? It's just, the mode of communication is changing. Okay, the way customers react is changing. And, the new millennial generation coming, okay, the whole approach and attitude is changing, just in terms of the way people live their lives. And so that drives how you have to start changing the way you behave as a corporation when you interface with this new generation. So we've been trying to create innovation around that, and we're showing our products here. We have a lot of products that do text messaging. We have a text messaging interface with contact centers. We have people's tolerance levels are lower. We have a callback product, so if you're on hold, you do virtual queuing. You can say, okay, fine, I'm going to hang up now. Call me back when your agent is available, so I don't have to stay on hold and listen to music, or I can continue doing something else, because let's face it, we don't have enough time to do things in our lives anymore. 24 hours a day is typically not enough, and people are losing sleep because there's not enough time to sleep, right? So all of this is driving what we do. So essentially it's all about trying to create solutions so that customers can be handled more diligently, in a more personalized fashion, and we can hopefully use that to drive profitability and top line revenue and within companies.
Well, Snehal, now let's talk about what this context of context is all about.
All right. So we've been talking about customer service for a few years now, right? And if you look at the advent of technology and what has changed, okay, you'll see that a lot of things that were supposed to be rocket science 5-10 years ago have become a lot easier. When that happens, expectations also change from customers. So two things are happening, right? Technology is advancing very quickly. Okay, things are getting multimodal, so people are not communicating with you just by phone. It's mobile phone, fixed line phone, SMS, fax, web chat, email, a variety of different media. And the other thing that has changed is the customers are getting more powerful. With the advent of social media, for example, right? That's like an industry buzzword right now, right? And cloud computing, right? People have the ability to do a lot of things which they did not have before, and we have to react to that as companies in terms of dealing with these customers. So the context of context is about knowing the context of a conversation when somebody contacts you. So when a customer tries to communicate with you as a corporation, you need to know the exact context of that conversation before the conversation starts. Okay, so we've been doing CTI integration and what used to be called screen pop for many years. Okay, so screen pop essentially is when somebody contacts you, you pop information on the screen which has the customer name. So if you call me Doug, I can pick up the phone and say, hi Doug, what can I do for you today? That's typically where it used to stop. I might have a little bit more information about you, but not a whole lot. Today, it's not screen pop anymore. What we do, and we call it context pop. Okay? Context pop. Okay, you don't do screen pop anymore. You do context pop. Now, what is that? Okay, context pop is actually presenting the agent with a complete context of the caller. you will, right? So you get information about the caller. You have the name, address, phone number, the usual stuff that came with screen pop. But now you have a lot more context. You have information about which buttons did he press on the IVR. You have information about how many times did he call you and what was the call about. Okay, has he gone and tweeted about you? Has he gone on Facebook and written something about you? Right? A whole bunch of different data sources have to be collected, right? And that is used not only to present to the agent so the agent can have an intelligent conversation with you, but it's also used in making the routing decision that where should this person go, right? Today, depending on what the context is, you can decide whether this person is really upset and you need to cut his whole time and straight away patch him onto an agent, or is it okay to have him be on hold for about 45 seconds or a couple of minutes, right? The context will drive that. So it's about how do you derive this context, right? Deriving this context is, again, an art, because you can argue, right? What contributes to the context? Okay, what kind of information do you think will create a context? And so that's kind of, sometimes it's a hit and miss. It's a trial and error process because it depends on the kind of product you're selling and why do people call you, what kind of customer service operation is it, right? And you essentially get that information over time and you create a model around, okay, when a customer typically calls me, okay, for A, B, or C reason, what kind of context do I need to have about this customer and about this whole situation for me to really create a wow situation? The customer just says, wow, you guys know everything. It's almost like I don't have to say anything. You know everything I want to tell you already, right? If you can do that, and technology is there today, right? Today you have social media connectors that go and look up and do data mining on social media and see if there's any relevant information about your company that is being tweeted about or being published, right, on blogs, etc. That information can be used. You have, customer interaction history from before, which can be mined. Right? So there's a whole bunch of different things. And, the reason you've got to do this to stay ahead is because the customer tolerance levels have gone down considerably, right? 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, okay, I did not have the ability to go and disseminate my dissatisfaction. Today I have tremendous ability. It's very easy. One tweet and 3 lines on Facebook gets to 1 million people in seconds, right? So if I have somebody calling me and they're upset, right, they have the power to let people know very quickly, right? And so I need to avoid that, right? If I can avoid that, if I can preempt that, okay, and the only way I can do that is if I'm more knowledgeable about the customer, if I can consistently be aware of the context when somebody calls me, so I can make that person feel comfortable and that person, is pacified that these guys really know what they're talking about, they really believe in service, and that makes a big difference. So this whole context is very important. So everything we do here, in our customer service arena is all about maintaining and creating the context of your, customer when they communicate with you. Okay.
So, in a way, you're describing something that lies just beyond UC. This is beyond unified communications.
Correct.
To sort of applying UC with many other things to achieve something better.
Correct. UC takes part of one section, which is how do I create an environment where it's convenient for a customer to communicate with me. Okay, this whole concept of multimodal, right? How do I make it convenient? So UC does that. It combines the different modes of communication. That's why it's called unified communications, right? But then that takes care of, the ease of communication. But then beyond that, reading the customer's mind in advance, okay, being prepared, okay, before the customer calls you. If you know, like for example, if you know this customer is really angry and upset about something, when you pick up the call, just the tone in which you say hello will make a huge difference. Okay? You're
improving the customer experience already.
Already, right? Just hello itself, the tone of hello makes a difference in terms of, the customer's immediate reaction, to that answer. Okay, so that's kind of, where this whole context comes in.
Well, where can we find out more about this new idea that you have?
Well, our products kind of have them embedded in them. Okay, when we read, stuff about InteractCRM products, we hope that, this kind of oozes out of there as part of the philosophy behind which we're building products. And then, there's our website, InteractCRM.com. There's email addresses on our website, sales@InteractCRM.com. We're still a relatively small company. so all the emails get
big
answered
ideas.
with big ideas. Hopefully, hopefully we will get to become a big company soon, right? And so we are very personal in our approach. And again, one thing that we believe in, right, is you got to practice what you preach. So even if we have 100 customers and not 100,000 customers, right? We've got to treat the same 100 customers the way we tell other people to treat their 100,000 customers. So our emails, always get answered. Okay, I personally, look at emails as well as much as possible. Okay, and when we talk to our customers, we do go through these discussions. Okay, we also educate them about what context means to us. And our customers would be people who are trying to put in contact center solutions. Right? So we explain to them, and they all understand the idea. They relate to the idea, right? And that's kind of the way we progress our sales cycle, and we try and sell. But our website is the best place to get information, and sending us email, we'll be more than happy, to engage with people. We have a Facebook page. We have blogs out there. There are links on our website to our Facebook page. There are blogs. There's some tweets going on. Some of our employees tweet, and we try and disseminate information as much as we can.
Snell, thank you very much for spending some time with us today. I bet we're going to hear more about context of context soon.
Yes, absolutely. And I think this is getting more and more interesting. It's getting more and more complex at the same time. But then, as things get complex, we expect and hope technology will simplify those things for us, and we can actually achieve, what we're trying to do here. So thank you very much, Doug, for having me on here.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.